Good morning, everyone. My name is Theo, and I'm going to talk about hesitation disfluency in spontaneous speech. Also, the meaning of and Human speech is peppered with and us, amongst other signs of hesitation in the planning process, but are these so-called fillers or filled pauses intentionally uttered by speakers, or are they side effects of difficulties in planning process, and how do listeners respond to them? The present paper reviews evidence concerning the production and comprehension of fillers such as and in an attempt to determine whether they can be said to be words with meaning. They are understood by listeners. To conclude, listeners are highly sensitive to hesitation disfluencies in speech. There is little evidence to suggest that they are intentionally produced or should be considered to be words in the conventional sense. When humans communicate, their messages are covered by more than just the word they use. They can, for example, use gesture to indicate what a phrase such as this one referred to, or change their tone of voice to show that the assertion that they love linguistic is not to be taken as face value, as well as these additional components of communication. The word of unprepared spoken language are likely to be accompanied by a range of unintentional errors. If, for example, a speaker exchanges the one set of two words by her perhaps saying down door when intending to say barn door, it is highly likely that the exchange is intentional, and the occurrence of accidental speech errors like these may inform us about the nature of speech planning. Between this extreme of intentionality of are disfluencies, or the false starts, repetition, and hesitations that accompanied the word that speakers plan and alter. Averaging across several studies, Fox estimated that approximately 6% of words uttered or are affected by some form of disfluencies. That these disfluencies may not always be accidental. It has been argued that some type of disfluencies should be counted among the tools the speaker has for communicating to a speaker, to a listener. Alongside things such as tone of voice, other such as false starts may be due to speakers adding their own speech. Chief among the potentially communicative disfluencies are the so-called fillers such as and which mark a hesitation on the part of the speaker in the paper. We investigate the role played by hesitation in human communication with a particular focus on fillers and the communicative goal they may serve. Here are my table of content. First, what do these fluencies such as fillers occur throughout? Next, what are hesitation, disfluency, and cognitive load? Third, what's the meaning of and In the end, I will tell you guys how to reducing disfluencies in spontaneous speech. After all of this, I will show you a short video of a short talk between Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal and see how they're using fillers, then explain why they were using the fillers. Investigation of where these fluencies, such as fillers, occur throughout utterance have est- established that they are more likely to occur before content words such as low-frequency color names. However, Betty and Bertolus came to a different conclusion when they investigated the distributional property of these fluencies across a set of recording of two persons' conversations. They showed that both low frequency content word and loss rated as contextual improbable were likely to be preceded by hesitations such as fillers when the frequency was held constant. Contextual probabilities still predict these fluencies. Rather than attributing these fluencies to cognitive load, Beatty and Butterworth suggest that speaker might be aware of an element of choice in selecting word with low contextual probability, and where were more likely to be disfluenced for this reason. Next, not enough practice. Research also shows that do more practice can reducing hesitation disfluency in spontaneous speech, and better preparation can reduce the mood of hesitation very well. Next, what are hesitation disfluency and what is cognitive load? In spontaneous speech, any form of nonsense pauses are called hesitation disfluencies. One of the most common hesitation disfluencies is fillers. And what is a cognitive load? It is a process that you are phrasing your words and thinking about how to pronounce the word and what does it mean. The research shows that there is more likely a filler word throughout after cognitive load. Now, let's move on to the next part. What's the meaning of and are? Their meaning is no meaning. There are just two different types of delay. One is a longer delay, one is a brief delay. Although there's no meaning of in these two words, the study shows that people are more likely to memorize the contents that comes after and are. In the field of linguistics, some believe that and are means someone is trying to throw out an opinion or phrasing what they are going to say next and lead the listener to the point which the speaker wants to send. Last but not least, how to reduce disfluencies in spontaneous speech. First, as I mentioned in very beginning, practice more. Do more practice before your speech can make you more confident and more fluent about it. Next, choice of words. You should choose the word that you are familiar with instead of the word that are uncommon and difficult. This can also help you do your research, speech more fluency because the word in your speech are those you know very well. So that is this chance that you have a cognitive load, which only happen when you are not familiar with the words. Finally, using silent pause. You should get used to using a silent pause. It is one kind of phrasing, and we all need to learn how and when to use it, but not using fillers. Now, I would like to share a video from YouTube to you, and let's see how fillers are heard in our daily conversation. And We will see how many times and what kind of filters throughout the speaker in this video. Let's skip to around 4 minutes. Okay, skip this part. Alright, as you can see here, I have made a small record to count out how many times do the speaker use the filters and which one is the most frequent. The first one is and it has been used once. The second one is it has been used twice. The third one is like, it has been used twice. Next is yes, it has been used twice. After is I mean, it has been used once. The final one is you know, it has been used once. In my opinions, um, and yeah can be considered as the speaker was thinking that what he want to say and which word he should use. You know, I mean, like, are more likely throughout when the speaker wants the listeners to agree with his opinion and reach consensus. So this is my presentation today. Thank you for listening.